Who in the world is James Empey? Hey guys, this is the OC with Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Please don't forget to turn on your bell notifications icons for the latest and greatest in Cowboy sports and news. James Empey, center, undrafted free agent, signed by the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to get into his film, and I'm going to tell you exactly why you should know who he is and why you should potentially be excited about it. But before we dive into the film, I do want to lay a little bit of groundwork about James. Just so you guys know, there is a lot of good things about how the Cowboys scout and how they draft in particular and bring in people that can potentially strengthen this team. I really like the free agent acquisition and signing of James Empey. I'll tell you more about that later, but just at a glance, he's a 4-year starter at BYU. He missed 7 games at the end of the year with a lower leg injury, which is why I believe he remained undrafted. 6'4", 297 pounds, a lot of experience. He's a guy with a high IQ, with overall good fundamentals. And let's just get into some film without further ado. Taking a look at James Empey in this play, he's the center. He's the guy that is hiking the ball, for those of you that have just learned about football. So what I love about him is one of the things that makes him a sound player is that he has really, really good awareness. In this particular formation, I'll run it from the wide angle, then we'll go to the tight angle. What you'll see is that they're in a slide protection. And I'll break this down as we look at the opposite angle. So when you talk about James Empey, think about a guy with high IQ. And that's what I really love about him. Similar to Tyler Battias in the sense that he's fundamentally sound. He knows where he's supposed to go. He doesn't blow blocks or assignments, which is why I think the Cowboys brought him in as an undrafted free agent. So you have a lot of motions and shifts in this particular formation. You got 13 coming across the line of scrimmage. You have another shift, all right, with the wing coming across here. And so this guy is the quarterback of the offensive line. He has to determine whoever he thinks is the Mike linebacker. He's going to set the protection off of the Mike, and he believes that 24 is the Mike linebacker. So he's setting the protection all the way to the left to pick up a potential outside blitzer here, which will cause this whole offensive line to slide to the left, meaning that all of a sudden it's similar to a zone blocking concept in that the offensive line, they are not blocking a man per se, they're blocking an area. So they're blocking whatever is to their immediate left. Whatever is to their immediate left. So this tackle will be out here, this guard will be out here, look at whoever comes in the B gap. And so this center, Empey, James Empey, has the A gap to his immediate left. And you're gonna see the amount of integrity that he has, and he does a great job in particular of not abandoning number 70. He doesn't abandon number 70 in this particular play, which I love, because you're gonna see how he does this, all right? He's gonna hold up, he's covered, perfect. So he's gonna hold up number 90, giving number 70 time to slide over and get in front. This guy started over the tackle. He slants all the way down into the A gap, right? Coming into the B gap. And so he has his eyes on this guy, or he has his eyes in this gap. A lot of people would have missed this block, assuming that this defensive end is going upfield, or at worst case, he's not coming this deep. But he's a high IQ guy. He keeps his eye on this guy, and he picks up the block. So good job by him. Now, if I run this back just a few seconds and show it to you again, what I do want to point out are a couple things that he needs to improve on. Similarly to looking at Alec Lindstrom, what I like to see him do is play with a little bit more short area punch. I want to see him really get a good, not hop up as soon, right? He's playing a little bit too vertical. I want a little bit more knee bend, right? And I want him, when he sees this, I want him not to catch. I want him to come and drive, come and drive, come and drive. hit this guy and knock the mess out of him, all right? And so he catches him, and so good job on him, with him on that particular play. And so I'm gonna pause that one really quick, and then we'll go ahead and we'll go to another play. All right, guys, let's take a look at this particular play. And this is just a really good example of what I'm talking about. Another example about his IQ. Really love the awareness. They're going up against a 3-4 defense. They're going against 3 down linemen, and they're going against 4 linebackers. And so when you face a 3-4 front, and this team, in this sense, 1, 2, 3, they got all these guys milling around. You're not sure where they're gonna come from. They can come here, here. It's designed to really trick the offensive line. So when you see a 3-4 defense, that's probably a defense that can give the center a large degree of issues, because he's trying to declare who he's setting the protection off of. And these guys are standing up and they're moving around so much that it makes it difficult for you to set a protection if you're playing center. But he does a fantastic job here, really recognizing where the pressure is coming from. And he's giving a pat call to this guy, to his left guard. He's gonna take this guy, if he's understanding that he has this gap. If this guy goes away, he's gonna come back and take the looper, right? So that's what I really love about James, just great awareness. So look at what he does here. Look at this, high IQ football. So this guy stunts, he goes with him, right, to make sure. Now this becomes number 70's man. Now, here's the deal. If this guy is here, then Empey has to be aware of the backside A gap, based upon the protection and based upon what he's seeing from this guy, okay? And so let's see what he does. Boom. Excellent. He bounces right back, because this guy, this linebacker, doesn't shoot. This guy bails. He bails. So he was bait for the center, for this guy to get a looping run straight at that quarterback. But James Empey does a fantastic job coming back, all right? And let's look at it one more time. Run it back for you again, and just look at James Empey. And I'm talking about high IQ football, and just a guy that plays with a high degree of intelligence. Again, I want to see him a little bit lower. I want to see him sit down and play with more power. He's going to need a year, in my opinion, to cook in terms of his strength. He did have a lower leg injury, so just keep that in mind, guys, when you watch this. That took him out the end part of the year versus BYU. So when he ran for scouts, he ran about a 5.3. And I don't think he was physically at his best, but I think that a year with the Cowboys and developing some of his game, we're doing very, very good. But let's look at this again. So show it to you again. Bouncing right back. So that's just really a good job by him. Fantastic job. All right, guys, so let's take a look at this one last play. You'll see James Empey in the run game, and let's see what he does. BYU primarily ran a zone type concept, meaning stepping to the left or right, blocking a man versus an area. You'll see again, pretty good footwork by James. You'll see good awareness to come off. There are a few things I'll point out that you can see become improved upon and be a little bit stronger in this game. But you just see a veteran college offensive lineman here, center in particular, that's smart, comes off right there and gets the run through. But he has to play with more leverage, more power. But in terms of being on the man he's supposed to be on, getting the body on a body, right? Taking a look at James right here. He's gonna take a zone step here. He's gonna get a run through there. I mean, he does his job. So he's a solid guy, right? So here, I like the fact that he didn't overreach, and he does a really good job combo blocking. So combo blocking, he's supposed to hold this man up so number 70 can get over here. I want to see him play with a little bit more upfield leverage. I don't want to see him drop that back foot, drop the front foot, excuse me. That front foot should be gaining more ground, and that's what he needs to do. And I think that improving the lower body strength is going to help him with that. But I think that strength is probably one of the easier things for offensive linemen to achieve in the right program with the right training schedule and just with a really good diet. But the mental aspects are harder to coach, and he has all of the mental aspects. So if you look at this, I want to see that foot gain more ground, but he does a real good job holding his guy up for number 70. And so you see him here, and then again, because he didn't gain enough ground, right? When he comes off of the block, he's lunging here, right? I don't want to see him lunging here. I want to see him crouched, right? And I mean, I am nitpicking a little bit, but I want to see him crouched so he doesn't get that outside hand here where he's going to get it, which could have been called for a hold, but he would have more burst and explosion. However, like I said again, with just a little bit more lower body strength and just some technical footwork stuff that I feel like can be cleaned up with him, he just would have been perfect. And this is good, by the way. This is good, but I think he would have been perfect. So you see him there, boom. And so you see him with a little bit of a hold there. And so we'll run it back just a little bit. And so we'll see that again. I'll let it kind of run all the way through. And this will be the last play that we look at. But this is an overview of James Empey. I mean, good IQ overall, solid footwork. So look at the first step, okay? The first step, he drops. I want to see him gain ground once again, right? And maybe he's doing that he's doing that just because it's a technical thing that he really needs to be gaining more ground, because number 70 got to get on his horse and he has to get over here. This is a zone play. Notice everybody stepping to the left. It's zone. We got an area. We don't have a man. You got this outside gap, all right? C gap, B, A, and B gap, backside, all right? So gain more ground with that, but he does a good job holding him up. So he sees him, and the problem is in this block is really his backside right guard who is turning his butt to the sideline. He has to run his feet vertically and actually get in front and knock him off. So he's lunging. He's lunging and pushing the guy, because James does a good job holding this guy up, really, so he can get over, but he has to have a little bit quicker feet. He's a little bit more slow-footed, right? And so James is going to come through here. He's going to come off right there, and then he got the vice grip hook on his neck, which is fine. I like it. He didn't get called for it here, but, but number 24 gets off, and he makes that tackle. So, there are a few things that he needs to get better at. I'll pause the tape there. But if we look at him overall, I think that he's a really good center, and I feel like that he's going to end up doing a really good job for BYU, for the Dallas Cowboys, He's from BYU, and I feel like that he's a guy that's going to come in based upon how good his health is. He's going to compete, and probably for a third center. But he could very easily work his way up with a great camp to be competing for a second center position, because I believe he has the IQ. I believe he has the skill set. It's just about the strength of his leg, where he is with that. He does need to gain some more strength and experience. So I feel like he's an outside looking in guy in terms of making a 53-man roster, that he's a definite practice squad player that could come back and compete. And listen, we got Alec Lindstrom, we got James Empey, right? And we got several guys that can play center. So listen, I hope that, our centers, Batty Ass and everybody else, they're on alert, because centers beware, man. You better guard your grill on this, because, hey, this guy's in a building that with a little bit of work and training could possibly come and take your job. And he's definitely one of those guys, all right? So if you like content like this, don't forget to follow Boss Cowboy Sports. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. And until next time, guys, see you.